A very warm welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us on this edition of K24 Inside Business, the show that keeps you informed with matters business. My name is Sarah Adam. Later in the hour, we'll have a discussion that will focus on NBK-KCB merger and also the share swap that is involved in this particular merger. But before then, let's take a look at what is making headlines in the world of business. We begin with Kenya joins the League of Oil Exporting Countries. Coconut business promoting high returns, and bank rakes in 85 billion. The top business story of the hour, President Uhuru Kenyatta has flagged off the first shipment of 200,000 barrels of crude oil from Kenya. The vessel carrying the oil will leave the Mombasa port at mid-morning for Malaysia. UK-based Chinese company Chem China has bought the first batch of the Kenyan crude oil at 1.1 billion. Caroline Jenga with this report.
This is part of the Ali Oil Pilots scheme, which is an important step towards the South Lokichar Fulfill Development Project. This will be the first time that a commodity worth an estimated 1.2 billion shillings makes its way into the international market. During the pilot period, Tullow Oil started by trucking 600 barrels of oil by road, then upscaled it to 2,000 for stockpiling at the Kenya Petroleum Refinery facility in Changamwe, Mombasa. The Ali Oil Pilot Scheme is preparing the road for full exploration and development of oil in the country, which was discovered in Turkana County in 2012 by Tullow Oil Kenya, BV and its partner Africa Oil Corporation. The Ali Oil Pilot Scheme is preparing the road for full exploration and development of oil in the country, which was discovered in Turkana County in 2012. Tullow Oil is the operator and is supported by partners Africa Oil and Total, which has acquired a 25% stake in the project. The milestone has opened doors for potential commercial exploration and development of oil and oil products, which is expected to increase the country's gross domestic product. According to Tullow Oil, Kenya's onshore field in Turkana hold an estimated 560 million barrels of oil. Caroline Jenga, K24 Inside Business.
Thank you very much, Caroline Jenga, for that report. And as we had earlier said, that today's discussion will focus on KCB-NBK merger, and we'll be giving you some facts about this. Now, KCB promises an average of over 20% share equity offer closes on 30th of August. National Bank has recorded a 98% drop. That is profit of 7 million, which it had gained in 2018. Now, KCB Group offered to buy 100% of NBK through a share swap, but all this has conditions. Now, the first condition, it says that 1.135 billion preference shares in the capital firm. That is exactly what it has stated, and the buyout is currently awaiting the approval of the Capital Markets Authority. Now, the committee has recommended that National Bank principal shareholders, that's National Bank Treasury, at 22.5%. Now, National Bank already recorded a 98% drop in profit. That was in 2018. And also we have the National Social Security Fund, which is at 48.05%. Now, reject of KCB's offer to acquire 100% shareholdings, that is the minority shareholders and other shareholders. Now, KCB gave an offer bid share price of 3 shillings and 80 cents, with NBK's total value at 6 billion against an independent valuation of per share price of 6 shillings and 10 cents and a total value of 9 billion. Of the Capital Markets Authority. Now that forms the basis of our discussion today, and we have an analyst, a financial analyst from Genghis Capital, who's going to discuss this further. Good afternoon. This is Churchill Ogotu, a financial analyst from Genghis Capital. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sarah. And I might admit that you have a nice studio.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, it's quite nice. Now, NBK KCB merger going forward, we are seeing a back and forth from legislators, and at the same time, when you talk about the National Treasury, they are actually quite impressed with it, and they said it should actually go ahead. What are your thoughts on this?
I'll state that what has happened, this deal has been on the cards for a while. When KCB came and said that it wants to acquire NBK in entirety. So what happened, there was a National Committee for Finance came and started its own report, came up with a report saying that it is opposing that buyout, and Treasury came and said it's supporting that buyout, because if you look at it, you find that government cumulatively holds 70% in NBK, find that 48.05, as you said, is by NSSF, and 22.5 is National Treasury. So government is 70%. And if you include the preference shares, if they are converted to ordinary shares, we are looking at the government shareholding skyrocketing to 90%, 92%. So it has a significant stake in this company. So Treasury, legislators had to come in and weigh in what are they recommending, and hence they were opposing that deal, because one of the things they were saying that it wasn't subjected to a competitive bidding. How come KCB just came and offered to buy NBK, but there were not other competitors coming in? So that's their bane of contention. But nonetheless, it's something that has been on the cards. We are looking at how fruitful it will be at the end of this week.
All right, 10% share swap. Still, MPs are saying it's undervalued. It's not worth actually trading for it. So what are you exactly, do you think the members of parliament are correct when it comes to the 10% share swap? Because we've seen KCB coming out to say now it has increased to 20% share swap.
Yeah, actually what happens is for every 10 NBK shares, they'll convert to 1 KCB share. So that's the mathematics around it. So the 10% is not coming about. So what happens is, because already the government has close to 70% of the ordinary shares, what they're actually targeting is for the retail shareholders, the other 30%. So that's where for every 10 shares that each person is holding, it will be converted to 1 KCB share. So that's what they are really trying to market, to be able to meet in the course of this offer period.
Okay, and then one of the conditions that were actually put out was recapitalization. Do you think this particular move will help NBK?
Exactly, because if you look across the board, all the capital adequacy ratios that NBK has currently, they are below the minimum threshold. So that one will inject some new life to NBK. Of course, it will be a merged entity. So it will be something that will be able to get NBK out of what, if I may put it this way, this rabbit hole that it has been over the last number of years. So that's a good move.
It's a good move.
Yes.
Okay, and still, let's stick to matters employment. Are we seeing any reshuffling, any retrenchment when it comes to this particular merger, when actually capital markets authorizes it and moves it forward?
It depends on how efficient it will be, because now we're looking at a merged entity. So it will now boil down to how efficient it will be to running the merged entity. Because if you look, even in the CBD, you find that in a small geographical radius, you find that there's a KCB, there's an NBK. So there'll be a matter of trying to get the best out of it. They have to manage their cost to income so as to be able to be more profitable, because banks are in the business of making money in as much as they are also lending. So it boils down to efficiency, and I expect not in the near term, but in the long term, there'll be a bit of some employees being laid off.
All right. And when you talk about NBK-KCB merger, what are the benefits that will come with it?
First of all, is now to have a more efficient entity. Look at it. I'll look at KCB and NBK. They are quasi-government entities, bearing in mind that they have significant government holdings. If you look at the whole banking space. So I'm looking at a more efficient banking players, and more so if you look at the macroeconomic environment, they're looking at whereby we'll have a common account held by Treasury. So I'm looking at it more on the efficiency in terms of where the government is banking. Already right now, most of the bank accounts held at NBK are government accounts. So merging it and also bearing in mind that KCB is a quasi-government entity, it will now be able to bring a bit of some efficiency in terms of managing the government account. So that's what really stands out for me in this deal that is currently ongoing. Okay, let's talk about merging. We're seeing NBK, KCB, and then there's Imperial Bank, which they haven't actually confirmed. Then we have CBA and NIC Bank. So going forward, how are we going to going forward, especially when it comes to our banking sector, will this help in terms of making it stronger actually? Yes, that's absolutely a good way to go, to have at least some solid banks which they can now be able to leverage the best of each. What I'm looking at, what is this entity bringing to the table? So I'm just looking at the best of all these different entities when they come together. So it's all coming to what the best they'll be able to come up with. Okay, thank you very much, Churchill Ogoto, for that review, especially when it comes to NBK KCB merger. Churchill has been able to give us a deep insight, especially when it comes to this merger. Now, moving forward, Kilifi County government has launched an ambitious plan to promote value addition for the coconut products so as to increase revenue source for the county, as well as create a platform for job opportunities. Further, the program will aid in sensitization of the Zero Waste initiative, which intends to encourage farmers to explore all products that can be extracted from coconut. That includes the coconut oil, the husk, and even conversion of old coconut tree to manure. Linda Koskei tells us more.
Coconut is one of the major cash crops in the coastal region. However, many farmers still practice traditional way of farming the commodity, which limits them from exploring the export market. But with the value addition program that the county government is introducing, farmers will be able to cultivate the product in large scale. Speaking during an exhibition organized by the tourism ambassadors that brought together coconut farmers and entrepreneurs doing value addition from the coconut product so as to promote trade and raise awareness of the importance of the crop, Frederick Kaingu, the Chief Officer for Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, said they have begun collaborations with the tourism ambassadors with registered companies operating using different concepts to promote coconut products.
The Kilifi County government, led by His Excellency Amason Jeffa Kingi, has given us the opportunity also to partner with people who are like-minded, like the tourism ambassadors, who we can partner and we can build the same concept and promote different products or different value chains of different tree crops. So that is our aim today, whereby we are here, plus the Department of Tourism and Trade, whereby we can promote tourism using also what we have as the coconut.
We need to aggregate these coconuts because you'll find that people who are coming in as investors, they want the value-added products, but they want them in big numbers. So it would be hard for individual traders to do that.
The county government shall distribute 3,000 hybrid coconut seedlings imported from India to farmers which mature after 2.5 years. Another 30,000 coconut seedlings to be imported elsewhere so as to increase the coconut tree cover. Susan Mugoi, one of the entrepreneurs who sell coconut products, including charcoal made from coconut. Susan Mugoi, one of the entrepreneurs who sell coconut products, says access to the international market is a main challenge.
Natengeneza mats ambao mikeka kama watu wako na sherehe wanaweza wakatumia. Nazi zilikuwa zimeadimika sana kwa sababu ya prolonged drought. Minazi mingi ilikufa, ili katika vilele. Na watu wengi kama vijana hawapendelei kupanda huu mti wa mnazi, wanasema unachukua muda mrefu.
coconut farming has been declining over the years, but now farmers are hopeful that these seedlings will revive this lucrative farming practice, as coconut water alone has been recognized for its nutritional qualities. Linda Koskei, K24, Inside Business.
Now, today, Kenya joins the League of Exporting Countries, and we have joined that particular league, and especially knowing that 200,000 barrels of oil has been exported, that is 1.2 billion Kenyan shillings. Now, let's cross over to Mombasa, where we are currently joined by our reporter, Fred Kai, who's going to give us an in-depth, especially when it comes to this particular oil. Now, Talo Oil began tracking oil from Turkana to Mombasa in mid-2018. The fund began by tracking 600 barrels of oil per day. That was later increased to 2,000 barrels of oil per day. Over 200,000 barrels is being shipped to Malaysia after a deal was struck with Chem China. The oil is stored at Kenya Petroleum Refinery Limited facility in Changamwe. Now, Kenya crude oil is categorized as Brent crude oil. Now, we are currently joined by our reporter, Fred Kai, who is in Mombasa for the inaugural shipment of oil that has been flagged off by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Good afternoon, Kai. And what is the latest from your end?
Good afternoon to you. Na ni kwamba leo historia basi imeweza kwenda kufanyika ama kuweza kutendeka baada ya kuona kwamba mzigo wa kwanza wa mafuta umeweza kusafirishwa kutoka bandari hii ya Mombasa hadi kule ngambo. Na ni muda si mrefu tu meli iliweza kuondoka katika bandari hii na kuweza kuelekeza mafuta hayo katika kule ugaibuni. Na hapa tulipo basi tunaweza kujiunga moja kwa moja na gavana Lunyangapuo aweze kutueleza kufika tu kwamba je, mzigo huu kuweza kusafirishwa, mzigo wa kwanza wa mafuta kuweza kusafirishwa nchini ina maana gani kwa nchi yetu ya Kenya? Pengine kama unaweza kujumuika na mimi hapa utuelezee tufika. Je, kama nchi tumeweza kupiga hatua katika kuona kwamba tunaweza kuzalisha mafuta?
Unakumbuka karibu mwaka 2 zilizopita Kenya ilifuka kuwa middle income country, na maanisha kwamba uchumi yetu imeinuka na living standards ya Kenya inataka kuinuka. Ile boost ambayo tumepata leo hii kupitia usafirishaji ya hii mafuta, na hii mafuta iko huko North Rift mahali natoka, basin iko Turkana, Lokichar is about 70 kilometers kutoka border ya West Pokot na Turkana, na the whole area iko na a lot of oil, and where we are iko slightly the gradient iko lower. Already a lot of tests, seismic tests inafanywa sahi huko kaunti ya West Pokot. Yamaanisha kuanzia sasa na siku sijazo na mwaka sijazo, Kenya itakuwa nchi ambayo itategemewa kwa Afrika na dunia kwa sababu ya mafuta. West Pokot tuko na gas ina ooze from the ground, na sasa huko ndio naenda kuangalia. Yamaanisha miaka sijazo pia tutaweza kuwa na gas pipe direct kutoka North Rift ije pande hii, maana mahali kuna mafuta pia kuwa na gas. Gas kwa Kiswahili inaitwa hewa ama gas tu. So tutarajia mazuri na mema. Pili ambayo imefanyika vizuri sana ni kwamba kwa sababu ya exploration ambayo imefanyika na combine effort ya county governments na national government, utulivu nchi ya Kenya, especially in that region, mahali kumekuwa na msukosuko ya wizi ya ng'ombe na uchokozi ya ethnic, kwa sababu ukiangalia sababu yote ni kwa sababu ya ukosefu ya mali na chakula.
Shukrani sana bwana governor. Naam, Sam, Carol, tumeweza kuona kwamba governor Lunyangapuo ameweza kueleza fika kuhusu umuhimu wa haya mafuta kuweza kusafirishwa kutoka nchi yetu ya Kenya, na ni kwamba ndio chanzo cha kuweza kuona kwamba taifa hili la Kenya basi linaweza kuzalisha mafuta na linaweza kujikimu katika uzalishaji wa mafuta haya. Kutoka hapa bandari ya Mombasa na kuregesha kwako studio, Carol.
Okay, thank you very much, Kai. And it is Sarah, not Carol. Carol will be in studio. That will be next week. But for now, it is me. And this particular inaugural is going to be very beneficial to the country. 1.2 billion Kenyan shillings. That is quite a lump sum of cash that we are expecting. especially keeping in mind that Kenya's crude oil is categorized as burnt oil. It has a low sulfur content of below 0.5%. Now, tallow oil spent 200 billion in exploration works. And that is how we wrap up Inside Business, the last word in business. My name is Sarah Adam. Up next is Newscut.